Hi, Steve again from 3D-Hub. This quick tutorial is going to show is the installation of the various tools required to produce assets for the 3D-Hub player. So if we just go through, so if you have a quick look through the software, we need 3D Studio Max. As I said, we can run from 2009 all the way through to 2012. As long as you have PowerPoint and 3D Studio Max, the rest of the tools we'll actually supply for you. Instant Effects Presenter, this is a plugin for PowerPoint which effectively just collects the data that we export from 3D Studio Max and allows you to add an interface and control the assets that you're exporting. And the final two things are the FXML Export Utility plugin here. That is the plugin for 3D Studio Max which exports the assets, as I said, again, to allow them to be imported into PowerPoint. And finally is the UDP Max script. UDP stands for User Defined Properties. If you right hand mouse click on an object in 3D Studio Max, that'll be, I think, the last tab along. And what the script does, which we'll come to later on, is just allows us to insert the programming language that we need to assign to the different objects within Studio Max that will get pulled through into PowerPoint so that the PowerPoint interface can interact with 3D Studio Max objects. Okay, so as you can see on this machine we already have 3D Studio Max and we already have PowerPoint. You will receive all the installs and the different assets which I've just been through. So for instance, 3D-Hub player, simply install that and that will allow you to test the lessons and test the assets once you produce them. We have the Presenter software installer here. Again, double click that and that will install the Presenter plugin into your PowerPoint directory. We have the FXML exporter. As I said, 2009, 2010 and 2012. The 2010 plugin also works for 2011. So all you do is, for me, I've got running Max 2011, is copy this. I'm running the 32-bit version, so if I go to Programs, 32-bit Programs, Autodesk, 3D Studio Max, go down to Plugins, you can see mine's already in there, but all you do is paste it into there. Obviously I don't want to paste it in there because mine's already in there. The next time you open 3D Studio Max, the plugin's available. Okay, number 4 here is the user-defined properties Max script. I've dropped mine straight into the script part of 3D Studio Max, but you can leave it on the desktop and leave it anywhere as long as you can find it from within 3D Studio Max and open it. That'll be fine. One important thing is once you've installed the 3D Studio Max plugin and the PowerPoint plugin, the Presenter plugin for PowerPoint, you do need to run them in administrator mode. If you don't run them in administrator mode, they simply will not function correctly. The way to do that is you can either go to right click on the launch icon and run as administrator, or you can hardwire it to always open administrator by going into compatibility, and there's a tick box there, run this program as administrator. Okay, so what we'll do first is open up PowerPoint. As you can see there, it's asking you permission to run as administrator mode. You just click yes. And you'll notice that once you've installed the plugin, under the add-ins tab, which will appear at the end there, you'll get the Presenter commands. Now, Presenter really is a plugin to produce broadcast style graphics for PowerPoint. We use it purely because it's got some great functionality for developing the 3D-Hub assets and lessons. So there's a lot of functionality in here that you probably won't necessarily use. To license it, you will be provided with a text-based license. To license the product, if you go to Product and Product Licensing, it's a little dialog box that will come up, and just make sure you're running in administrator mode. Obviously we are, so we don't need to click the yes, which basically tells me more information about running in administrator mode. So I'm going to click no there. And you see here I'm actually running a USB dongle license, so I've no need to install a text-based license. But if you had a text-based license, all you would do is you'd drop down the pull down to text-based license, select it, hit manage, and then paste, cut and paste the license that we provide you into here. And once you've done that, click install license and you're away. Now, what that will do is that will remove the watermark every time you run Presenter from within PowerPoint, and it will also give the ability to export from Presenter, so you can export your FXD files, which are the files that will open in 3D-Hub Player, and it will also give you the ability to export FXP files, which are the files which collect all the assets together and allow you to transfer them from one machine to another, so you can collaboratively work on projects. One more thing I forgot to mention is you need to license the FXML exporter for 3D Studio Max. So again, if we go back into Products, Presenter Licensing, and click No, there's just a button at the bottom here which says Install FXML Exporter License on this machine. If you just punch that, and you get a quick success dialog box just pop up. Just click OK and close. All that means if you go into 3D Studio Max and use the FXML exporter facility, obviously it's fully licensed and fully functional.